So what is this entire fight really about? Well, the plaintiff alleges that this whole 13-year ordeal is built on a lie told under oath at the very first hearing. In legal terms, this is a bombshell accusation called fraud on the court, and it's basically saying the judicial process itself was corrupted right from the get-go.
And here is the fundamental conflict, laid out plain and simple. On one side, you've got the defendant's sworn statement from 2012. He claimed he had no property, no ties to New Jersey, and because of that testimony, the court dismissed the case. But on the other side, the plaintiff claims she has certified public records, property deeds, tax records, showing the exact opposite, that the defendant did own property in the state all along.
And the filing, it does not mince words about this contradiction. It says flat out, this was not a mistake. This was not a misunderstanding. This was deliberate perjury. That one accusation is the engine that is driving this entire legal challenge.
The filing argues that this alleged lie wasn't just a single event. No, it was the starting point for something that would spread kind of like a virus right through the court system, infecting every single decision that followed for more than a decade. You can see the chain reaction laid out right here. The filing alleges that the original 2012 order, the one based on fraud, became the foundation for a sealing order in 2013. That order then justified another one in 2015, and on and on and on. It's a perfect domino effect, where each step relies completely on the legitimacy of the one that came before it.
And the filing uses this really powerful and frankly pretty grim metaphor to make its point, arguing that, like a cancer, the fraud metastasized through the judicial system. That language is so deliberative. It's framing this not as a single mistake, but as a systemic corruption that grew from one single toxic source.
Okay, so that's the legal theory, this domino effect of void court orders. But what did that actually mean for the plaintiff? This is where the story shifts from a kind of abstract legal fight to very, very real financial damage. So here's how it worked, according to the memo. The plaintiff was accused of violating those sealing and gag orders. Because of that, the court ordered her to pay the defendant's attorney's fees. Then, those legal awards were turned into property liens, which are official claims against her home.
And that brings us right back to where we started. When the plaintiff finally sold her home in May of 2024, those liens were enforced. $34,000 was taken directly from the sale, all to pay for attorney's fees that she argues were based on court orders built on a foundation of fraud.
So, how do you even fight back against a decade of court orders and the seizure of your money? Well, the legal strategy here is built on a very old, very powerful principle. It's a total all-or-nothing argument. The entire case really hinges on this one concept, void ab initio. It's Latin for void from the beginning. The idea is that if a court order is obtained through fraud, it's not just wrong or something you can appeal, it's a legal nothing, a complete nullity. It's as if the judge's signature was written in invisible ink. So the legal argument breaks down into three parts. First, the core claim. You just can't be punished for violating an order that is legally void. It's like getting a speeding ticket for a law that doesn't even exist. Second, a powerful legal principle that says fraud vitiates or poisons everything it touches, invalidating even the most official judgments. And third, there's this doctrine of unclean hands, which basically says that someone who comes to court having acted unethically, like say committing perjury, can't then ask that same court for help. But this filing goes way beyond just asking for the money back. It makes a much broader case that this is about more than just the two people involved. It's a matter of public interest, of transparency, and the integrity of the courts themselves. And here, the filing makes its most explosive claim, and it uses it as a justification for why these records absolutely must be unsealed. It alleges the original case involved the sexual exploitation of a minor, and argues that the public has a fundamental right to know when the courts are used to hide something so serious. To support this call for transparency, the filing pulls out a famous quote from Supreme Court Justice Louis Brandeis: "Sunlight is said to be the best of disinfectants." The message here is crystal clear. The only way to cure a system allegedly corrupted by secrecy and fraud is to expose it to the light of public scrutiny. And so, the filing wraps up with a clear and sweeping set of demands. It's not asking for one little thing, it's asking for a total reset. Declare every single order from the past 13 years void, unseal every single document, return the $34,000, and refer the defendant for criminal prosecution of perjury. It's asking for everything. This final quote from the document really just sums up the entire challenge. It's a direct appeal to the court's fundamental purpose, framing this not as a choice,
but is a duty to correct what it calls a 13-year-old wrong.
And so we're left with this profound question that this filing raises. When does a legal process, which is meant to deliver justice, become what this memo calls a procedural abomination? And maybe more importantly, what does this 13-year battle tell us about the incredible challenge of standing alone and telling the system that it got everything wrong right from the very start?